What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on high altitude investing. Yes, I decided to make a video today, and today I'm going to be talking about a specific coin that I have right in front of you. And the reason that I'm talking about this coin today is because of the fact that this is one of the cleanest setups in the short term. So for the most part on my channel, I make videos about long-term investing. And although I definitely see Litecoin as a great prospect for long-term investing, when I'm looking across the board and looking at what coins that I would buy in the short term to make some money, Litecoin is definitely one of those, as well as Digibyte and a couple others. But I really love this setup on Litecoin. So this one, and one of the big reasons that I like this setup on Litecoin is because of the 3-day candlesticks. If I hold shift, as you guys can see, there's a very strong horizontal support line, which actually used to be support right here when we rallied up right here, and then the COVID panic happened, and then there was this huge accumulation period where for the most part people would have been selling their Litecoin for other stuff. They probably would have sold their Litecoin to FOMO into stuff that dropped. And that's just the psychology of the market. And the truth of the matter is that this major support level is very likely to hold. And I actually expect us to push up through $68. We're currently valued at $46. The major support level that I'm showing you is at about $40. So it's really close to the market price for Litecoin. And when we get above that $67 resistance level, this resistance at 83 will be broken above, and ultimately this resistance at 140 will be broken above. And of course, in the big picture from an investing perspective, I do expect the all-time high to be broken above because of this massive market cycle right here. And then the echo cycle right here, a repeat basically of that first cycle, just smaller. So what I am expecting to have happen here is this trend development to actually occur for us to kind of move around, and at some point we'll actually break that previous all-time high level. Now that is more like 1-2 years away, but that's still a massive gain. You know, that's over 10x from current prices past the all-time high. And so that's why I like Litecoin in the big picture and in the short term right now. These 3-day candlesticks are looking very nice. I love how the market is compressing down onto this major support level, how it's been downtrending for so long. It's been downtrending really since 2018, but every single time it reaches one of these major support levels, all of this area right here, you guys can see a massive bounce. So that shows that there's a lot of buyers in this area. So kind of what I'm personally watching for with Litecoin is this major support level to hold, for us to break that resistance, for us to break the next resistance, and ultimately break the all-time high. But in the short term, I see a lot of potential in the setup. And for the people that swing trade, because I know there's a lot of people that like to swing trade, and I do sometimes as well. If you put a trading plan right here, you guys can actually see that major support, the major support that we're seeing is like 10-13% below us. So we actually have a nice little risk to reward ratio. If we take our target, and let's just say that we wanted to be safe and take profits at the nearest resistance. That's still a really good risk to reward ratio. That is a 2.25 risk to reward ratio. So that means you're making over twice as much as you'd be potentially losing if it doesn't go in your favor. And with this major support level being so strong, and with this massive double bottom pattern that is actually forming in the big picture here, as you guys can see, a massive double bottom pattern, I fully expect this market to break out, to push up to this resistance, and ultimately break all of those resistance levels. So this is a very safe, low risk setup that you could potentially play on Litecoin. And although this is never financial advice and this is my trading journal, I wanted to make you guys aware of how to set up the trading plan tool, kind of a little tutorial on how to drop it, put that entry where the market price is, drag your stop loss down, Generally you don't want to lose more than 10 or 20% in a trade if it's possible at least. And then having a 44% gain is really quite nice. And it could push higher than that. If you wanted to be a little bit of a riskier trader, you could always take higher risk and go for the next resistance. And that would put you at a 4.1 risk to reward ratio, which basically means if you win 4 times more than if you lose. So you have a really, really nice ratio of risk to take that setup. So that's why I wanted to update you guys on Litecoin today. As far as the whole coronavirus deal, you guys, I don't like to really talk about this a whole lot because I don't base my trading on it. But I will look at the chart. It's interesting to me either way as an analyst. This is really cool stuff to be able to graph. This massive horizontal consolidation that we're seeing right now in the daily COVID-19 deaths definitely could see an upward break or a downward break. So I'm just kind of watching for that. Our previous all-time high was at 10,000 daily deaths, and our all-time low is at about 1,000 daily deaths. As you guys know, I did successfully call the top on this whole peak right here, but this massive sideways consolidation pattern is kind of random. I can't really tell you exactly what way this is going to go. The big picture trend is still up. Second wave is possible. If a second wave happens, you guys, if I do want to kind of discuss fundamentally how that would affect crypto, in my eyes, we're just going to move more towards a cashless society. So if there's a second wave of corona, as much as I wouldn't want to see that happen, technically cryptocurrency, because of the fact that the US dollar would lose quite a bit of value, and a lot of people would be even more scared to transact in the form of physical currency, it may drive the price of digital currency up. So that's something to think about at least, or be aware of, not to base your trade on, not to try to predict the COVID-19 daily deaths or anything like that, but just to see if there's a correlation there, to see if we start to see both of them rise at the same time. So those are some things to think about, you guys. I really appreciate you tuning into today's Litecoin update. If you're not a follower of my Twitter account, check it out. High Altitude INV on Twitter. I've been posting a whole bunch of stuff on here today. I get kind of passionate about stuff sometimes and post a whole bunch of things. So go check it out. I love Twitter. I post charts on here sometimes as well. Sometimes some memes, some jokes, stuff like that. So check me out on Twitter, and I look forward to seeing you guys in future updates. As always, stay profitable out there.